wearing all black.
Aloha! Here with JC and Jeff.
Ain't no time for school today.
Hitting bombs.
Hey, watch this punch cut lob wedge. Replace your Marshalls with cart girls. They're better looking. They're serving drinks.
Got to hit bombs off the tee.
Phil talking about a guy taking a shit in the cut.
Mahalo!
That's what we did fireside with Phil.
Fire at the stick.
Hit bomb and attack the pin.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Aloha Press Show. I'm JC, joined today by my co-host Jeff on beautiful California. Buddy, what's going on, man? It's been a couple weeks.
It's definitely been a while. California's changed a little bit in the last couple of days. We've had a record amount of rain come through. It looks like different than when you were here when it was wildfires burning. But yeah, it's kind of weird to be back. I forgot about golf for a couple of weeks, forgot about life, forgot about podcasts, tried to kill myself with the COVID vaccine. So, we're good to go.
Hey, easy with the C word, okay? We don't want to get suppressed. I went back and looked at like our views and stuff, and we're still getting comments about the Patrick Reed video we did last year of him cheating. And I swear, every like 3 or 4 days, we get these just hellacious comments about how many F words we use in that particular video. And I still am shocked by like how many views we actually have. I think we're up to like 8,500 views, and this video is super old. It's not very good. It's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty funny, but I'm shocked at the people who get so offended. It just drives me crazy. But yeah, I heard about the storms in California. Thank God we held the Aloha Press Classic when we did, because California was hit with a blizzard. I saw fucking thunder clouds. It just was absolutely crazy. But Jeff, it's been a couple weeks. We've got to initiate an apology. We had a podcast lined up for you guys last week. It was going to be kind of like a insider look. We had some listener questions. We did a live podcast, and I realized that people consume like 18 beverages before we record the podcast doesn't make for the greatest production of a podcast. Like, we didn't have enough microphones. We had a room full of just like secondhand smoke. It was just it was pretty amazing. But we unfortunately didn't have an episode for you guys last week, and but we're here now.
Well, I think there's a couple lessons we learned. One, we didn't have enough microphones. And two, if you're going to get everybody liquored up before we start, those little clip-on ones are the only way to go, because we use our hands too much. We pass the microphone off to somebody else. We start butting into somebody else's conversation. So it flowed well in the room if you were in the room. But for people trying to listen at home, I mean, at least I think the Instagram live viewers actually got to hear what was going on, and that was pretty successful. But as for the podcast, it just wasn't going to work.
It unfortunately got cut from the production. It was just we weren't real confident with the production level, and that's my fault. It was one of those things. You sit on a couch at the beautiful Hard Rock with their stained carpets and their tobacco sucked in walls, and you realize that some atmospheres are just not great for the podcast. Great for the Instagram live, which was pretty compelling and pretty good. Jeff, but we're back. I mean, it's been a couple weeks. A lot of things have happened in the world of golf. Pretty much 2 tournaments. That's about it. There was one in Vegas where Rory McIlroy got the victory over Ricky Fowler, which I was pretty shocked about. And then we had most recently Hideki Matsuyama winning in Japan for the first time in his home country on the PGA Tour at the Zozo Championship. Jeff, it's fall golf. It is not a great production. I mean, they're battling against college football, the NFL, and a lot more compelling things on television. Did you have any opportunity to watch any golf in these last couple weeks?
Absolutely none. And I can tell you right now, like I was busy too. I mean, I was busy on the weekends. We were in Tahoe a couple weeks in a row, in Bakersfield, sick with the COVID flu. So I had some shit going on, but there's no way in the world I was watching golf over the MLB playoffs, college football, NFL football. It just wasn't happening. I mean, NBA's back on. I mean, if you're ever a sports fan, this is the best time in the world. Fall golf is not going to be it. And to tell you the truth, it was a nice break. It was a nice break to not have to pay attention to what's going on, pick a winner. It was like a 2-week hiatus that kind of reset me, recharged me for this week, the big championship out in Bermuda, the old Butterfield Open out there.
I was sitting in my hotel room, and I'm decked out in my Aloha Press gear, and we go down to the bar, and I'm mingling with the locals. I mean, we're in Honolulu. We're just, at Waikiki, we're just enjoying ourselves. They're looking at our gear and they're like, "Oh, the Aloha Press, that's pretty cool. You guys like a news thing? Like what are you?" Like, "Oh, we're a golf podcast." Like, "Oh, did you catch this week? Rory won." And I'm like, we didn't watch any of it. Like, sorry guys. It's
Yeah.
So I welcome all the new listeners. I'm excited to be back. It was definitely a needed break because Jeff, you're absolutely right. I mean, we've got the Braves on. We've got Jim Nantz giving us the lowdown with Tom Brady and the 600 touchdown. I mean, plus, who has time to get up at like 2 a.m. and watch golf in Japan? Like, limited fans. I mean, the main story that came out of that was Hideki, who won by like 5 shots. But then the second biggest story is Xander Schauffele being able to see his grandparents, because he wasn't able to back when the pandemic was in full force, back when they had the Olympics. Golf has got to take a break, Jeff. It just has to.
Well, every major sport needs an off season. It does. It needs that break. It needs time away from the viewers so that they get they get that anticipation to come back and watch again the next season. Watch, who gets better, who makes the moves. But 2, like, just give a break to the players. Let them go party a little bit, right? Let them go do their thing and then rebuild. Nobody wants a year-round season. It blows my mind that we do this in golf. I know that they get away with it because they've got so many B to C tier players that's where they make their living early in the year, man. They get out there in those events where there's just not the star-studded, fields that fucking eat up all the money. That's where they make their living.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give Brandon Steele getting a T2 over Cameron Tringali, posting a -10 or a -10 or whatever. I mean, we needed to hang on and let Keegan Bradley get in a little top 10 with a T7. It just, I mean, it's Tommy Fleetwood, Colin Morikawa. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were some guys this last week that was good to pay attention to, but again, I am not getting up. Okay, not with playoff baseball, not with the Atlanta Braves smoking the Dodgers, okay, and the Oregon Ducks, just, good God, I don't know what happened to them. Can they pull a couple guys off the old bench to get healthy or something? But it just, there's too much going on in the world right now for the game of golf, and it's one of those things that you got Tom Brady throwing a 600 touchdown, you got Jim Nantz. I've never seen Jim Nantz so energized. I want him to bring that to the fucking golfing world come like January.
Well, another thing, thinking about Jim Nantz is he's in the booth with Tony Romo, right? They do a great job in the NFL. They called a blowout this week. The Bucks just absolutely killed the Bears. I mean, it wasn't even fucking close. And they still made it interesting, kept it exciting, right? Bring Tony to the fucking golf booth. Let's see how that works for a weekend. Give us a little something different.
Exactly. I mean, shit. Bring him this week. Okay, I know he's playing in that goddamn Bermuda Championship or the Humpty Dumpty Butterfield Championship. It's one of those things you look at and he's played on the tour a little bit, and can you imagine just like him and Joe Buck, Jim Nantz, all just having a couple of shots of tequila and giving us their real opinion about some of the golf and making it a little bit more exciting, because right now the Golf Channel coverage, like, you had Rory McIlroy and you had Ricky Fowler in Vegas, prime time. No one cared. Even the PGA Tour didn't care. Golf Channel didn't care. They were too busy showing some senior tour event, which, by the way, if the second biggest story this week is Bernhard Langer getting his oldest victory in the game of golf, someone needs to put a pause on this whole world of sports when it comes to golfing, because it's not important. It's not entertaining. It's not fun. It again really highlights that we need to make a change here in the broadcast world.
Well, we talked about the PGA Tour needing a break. The LPGA Tour needs a break too. They need to shorten the season. They need that little time off. But if there ever was a season to condense, it's the fucking Senior Tour, the Champions Tour. They need to condense that thing down to about 4 tournaments, major championships, and that's it, right? And then ones that Phil might want to join, and then leave the rest of it alone. So maybe 6 tournaments a year, because nobody cares.
It's like,
I don't know how they keep paying these guys.
Well, it's like watching Jeff Garcia and Terrell Owens going out and playing 7-on-7 against Tim Brown and Jeff Gannon or whatever. It just, no one cares. No one cares about these old guys just playing golf. And don't get me wrong, they're getting an opportunity. They didn't make a lot of money when they were, in the pre-Tiger era, pre-Phil Mickelson era, but it just we're on a cusp. And I saw a couple articles this week, and I wanted your opinion. Last year, we might have had a different opinion, but they're really harping on Phil Mickelson of like, hey, are you going to come to the Champions Tour and just really take over and just like smoke everyone? Jeff, did the media forget? Like, how short is their memory? Like, he won a major championship fucking like less than 6 months ago. And they're talking about, hey, just what do you come to the Champions Tour and just really take over? You take the throne away from Bert Hard Langer, the freaking Anchorman Challenge. It just, I don't know, it gets me all fired up.
Honestly, I think Phil should play on the PGA Tour until he can't anymore, and then go in the booth. I've never been more against the Senior Tour than I am now. It's just it drives me nuts. The guys had their time. They had their heyday. Let's leave it to 4 championships, 4 major championships. Let the amateur guys have a chance, like they do at the PGA, to come in and play if they qualify. Make it interesting, and then that's it. No, I mean, unless you're a family or friend, I really don't think anybody cares about the Senior PGA Tour. I really don't think they do.
I'm with you. I don't know why. I don't know why that tour is so prevalent in the Golf Channel world, because no one cares. I would much rather watch the PGA Tour and the LPGA Tour somehow combine on on a weekend during the fall and have some type of mixed event way more than the old guys. The old guy, I mean, God, Freddie Couples is amazing. Like, let him play the Masters, and that's it. I only need to see him once a year.
I know why that fucking Senior Tour still is around and still relevant, and it's for one reason only, and it makes a lot of sense, because the majority of golfers are middle-aged men, to elderly men, and they believe everything they see on TV, and next thing you know, they're all playing Tour Edge fucking clubs. They're all playing Squares golf shoes, and they're going out there with their buddies, because they're the guys that get to play 5 days a week, so they're selling that merchandise. That's why they get this advertisement. That's why they still get to play, because they're selling to the crowd, the main crowd of golf, and that's those guys.
I'm going to disagree with you, Jeff. Okay, the reason why it is so prevalent and it's on TV all the time, it's because there's no good golf movies. Like, if there was 10 more great golf movies, like besides the Happy Gilmores and the rest of the greats, there's like 3 that are really good golf movies, but that's it. That's all you got. If they had just 10 more golf videos, I swear to God, it would be the most popular thing on that Golf Channel on Sunday morning when most people are in church. It just, that's why they have them on. Because they don't even broadcast. They have nothing to talk about.
Maybe. I'm so over that. We'll move on. I'm going to throw a little shout out here. Something's happening tonight. It's never happened in our podcast. We're 100 plus shows in, right? For the first time, I'm actually drinking red wine tonight. That's never happened. It's usually whiskey, seltzers, beer. But this Rombauer Eldorado Zen, my absolute favorite, and I'll probably polish off a bottle while we're doing the show here today. But it kind of reminds me of hanging out with you.
Well, that used to be the drink on the golf course. A little red wine, a little birdie juice. I was known for the guy who'd kill a bottle of wine on the golf course. Jeff, let's get into wine, okay? We're like 12 minutes into the show. We've pretty much covered all of the news, besides one other topic, which we got to hit on Bermuda. We're gonna give you guys our picks, but when I was back in California, I didn't realize how much I missed the damn wine. Good God, you guys have so much goddamn good wine. It's Georgia. It's like fucking watermelon juice and strawberry wine. It's like great for the watermelon crawl. And I get it, Alan Jackson, but I don't know that dance. But the wine out in California is absolutely amazing. I was just shocked.
Well, it is, and you grew up here. You're lucky. We've got mini Napa right down the road here in the Shenandoah Valley. You've got all the wine you want, red, whites, sparklings. There's not a house you can go in Amador County that doesn't have a wine cellar, a wine fridge, a wine rack, endless amounts when you show up. So we're lucky out here. But typically I don't drink wine, especially drinking wine alone. I just doesn't happen. I haven't even eaten dinner yet. Usually I'll pair it with a nice steak, but I'm just rolling fucking on an empty stomach right now.
It's so when I was back in the county, we had some friends come out to visit us at the Aloha Press Classic, which we're going to get into later. But I was telling them, okay, and these fine folks are, you know, well cultured when it comes to food, right? And they speak just not English like I do. They speak also a couple different languages. And I decided we're on our way home from the classic, and I know this is not golf talk, but we're going down the hill down Highway 88 in California, and they're just blown away by the views. And I'm like, listen, like, fuck the views. Okay, it's snowy, Christmas tree looking. Okay, it's great. It's beautiful. It's about half burnt down. It's absolutely amazing. I get it. But there's this Mexican taco truck that's absolutely the best taco truck you're ever gonna go to. And they're like, fuck, like, we're starving. Like, we've been sitting in traffic for 5 hours. Like, hell yeah, we're hungry. Like, there's no good taco truck, especially, you know, that carne asada, you know, it's got the, you know, good spices in there. You know, it looks like it comes straight from, you know, it was driven from San Diego up to beautiful Pine Grove, California. And we get to the truck and we get out of the car. And my buddy Brian looks at me and he goes, you mean to tell me that you bragged about this Mexican taco truck for the last 9 months? You finally dragged me out here to the middle of nowhere, and you're going to serve me Ecuadorian taco truck? I go, what are you talking about? He's like, it's from fucking, this is Ecuadorian food, you dumbass. Like, it just, so I wanted to share my, my lack of the Spanish language. I didn't realize I was enjoying the finer things in life in beautiful Ecuador.
So can you tell me what makes that Ecuadorian instead of Mexican? Tell me, because we've got like 5 taco trucks around here now. How do you tell? How did they tell? Was it the fucking menu? Was it the name? What was it?
Because it said Ecuadorian taco truck on the side of it.
Fuck. Well, that must be a different taco truck, because I've never been to that one.
I was blown away. I apparently have been venturing out my entire life, and apparently I'm too ignorant to learn the new language. But getting back to the golf, Jeff. We've got the Bermuda Buttersworth Championship this weekend. You've played out there. This is an event where we've got Brian Gay defending the Flat Bill Classic, Mr. 48. I think he's going to be on the Champions Tour here very soon. You've played the golf course. Any insight? Any knowledge that you could pass along to our listeners on how difficult this golf course is?
I think we've talked about this last year when they played out there. The golf course is
Jeff,
only as difficult.
I'm running out of things to say. Okay, so
no. But I'm saying the golf course is only as difficult as the wind. It really is. I remember, downwind holes, very easy. Holes without wind, very easy. Holes into the wind or side winds, fucking terribly difficult. Especially, I think, number 17, long par 3 along the cliffs on the ocean. Beautiful hole, but it's very tough. I mean, I think Brian Gay got to 15 under last year. That's a tremendous score out there in those conditions. I love that place. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm 37. Okay, my 40th birthday, we're going to Bermuda. So start, put the money in the piggy bank, get the family ready, get the passport fucking lined up, because that's where we're going when I turn 40. We went there for my brother's 30th. We're going there for my 40th. We're going to play these golf courses. But I think the guys all fun. It's a vacation trip. That's all it is. It's a vacation trip. I mean, if you're not bringing your family with you as a PGA Tour player out to Bermuda and enjoying that country or that little island out there, because it's amazing. It's beautiful. It's ran by the British. They've got good food. It's awesome.
What does British food look like? What?
Bangers and mash, fish and chips. A lot of stews.
A lot of muffins or something. A lot of oatmeal.
A couple of classy cocktails out there. The rum swizzle, my go-to. Jeremy and the guys that were out there with me know about that. This dark and stormy. They got some good rum drinks. It's a great spot. It's fucking awesome tournament. The Butterball Bermuda Open.
Yeah, it looks like an event. I might not partake in watching the entire thing. I'm sure I'll tune in. We were a little rejuvenated. The thing that got me though, Jeff, we're headed there for your 40th birthday. And I know that getting on an airplane to go to Bermuda might be a little challenging. Brian Gay had a little more difficult thing to get to. He apparently weighed a little too much. Him and his wife outweighed the small aircraft that was taking them to the championship this week, which kind of cracked me up. It got me thinking. Jeff, instead of flying there, why don't we take a boat there? Like a little cigarette boat, maybe go to Bermuda and then maybe go to the Bahamas afterwards, maybe hit Cuba, get a couple smokes. But it just cracked me up hearing that story about Brian Gay. But it's sad to see that Brian Gay is not the favorite this week, which doesn't shock me. Couple big names. You got. There's like two big names: Matthew Fitzpatrick, Patrick Reed. It's going to be in the mix. Jason Duffner, as I've seen, in the mix. Russell Knox, Nick Watney, another classic, and even guy like Brandon Hagee. A couple of big hitters out there. It's Jeff. You're leading the bottle count because the last pick I made was Kevin Na, who withdrew from a tournament that he'd won, which doesn't make any fucking sense. Who do you got this week coming into the Butterball Championship?
Well, I am 2-0, after the Ryder Cup so far. So I'm going for the what they call it, the turkey, right
Sure.
here. I understand Brian Gay is not the favorite. Brian Gay is 70-1. He's not even close. I looked that up just to see. Hey, defending champ, he'll probably play well. I'll never pick him again the rest of the year. With our new system, it might not be a bad pick. 70-1, not going to get my pick. Plus, he should know better. I mean, me and you being in law enforcement, you understand when the helicopter shows up, only a certain amount of weight's getting on there, and it's usually the skinnier guys and a lot of gear that are going to make the flight. So he either had too many clubs or he's put on a few lbs. But I'm going to go. I'm fucking homering the shit out of this one. I have no clue about this tournament. I just know there's one guy that's got the best odds, 10-1, 12-1, whatever it is. And that's Matthew Fitzpatrick, and I'm going to take him because I probably won't take him anywhere else the rest of the year either. So just playing the odds.
In our new system, it's definitely I don't want to say it's more challenging. It's just because you look like a guy like Matthew Fitzpatrick. I mean, guy who's played really well, 12-1 in the odds this week. Yeah, you're right. He's probably a guy you're probably not going to pick come major championship season. The last thing you want to do is pick a guy like Patrick Reed, 22-1 out here in beautiful Bermuda. I can't imagine what the hell Patrick Reed's doing in this goddamn tournament. Like, is he looking for the suntan? Him and Jocelyn and the kids and the mistress, are they all going out there having a good time? It just, I would stay away from it. But that's what scares the shit out of me, Jeff, to be quite honest. I mean, look at these odds. I don't recognize half these players, and we cover golf for a living. Do I pick Christian Bazin out at 16-1? I can't even say his fucking name. Hayden Buckley, maybe? It just shocks to me that again, Matthew Fitzpatrick is definitely off the board. I'm gonna go with a guy who I know I won't ever pick, but who would probably he's probably gonna win this damn thing, which I'm gonna love. I'm gonna go with Danny Willett at 40-1. One, because I've heard of him. And two, I'm definitely not picking him in any time of any further down the line.
Hey, he's a major champion. He's one of a few in the field, I would imagine. So fuck.
I would assume so. He's probably him and Patrick Reed, I think, and Jason Duffner. I was gonna go with Big Duff, but he's ranked down there with Brian Gay also at 70-1. But what else we got? What else we got on the old news board? It's something that popped up a couple weeks ago that we didn't talk about. I don't know if we talked about it in our Drunken Stupor or live podcast that we attempted at. Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau are going to be playing in the match on Black Friday, the holiday weekend of Thanksgiving. Jeff, This seems like this was put on a fucking tee for everyone to fucking hit. It just seems like the last year of drama that we thought we were enjoying because it was pure hatred. Seems like they're capitalizing on the cash grab in the match. I don't know what is this, match number 7 this year. What are your thoughts?
Oh, they absolutely are. I mean, but the Ryder Cup did it for me. Like, it's no more. The feud is no more. They're hugging each other, they're high five. Like, obviously it's done with. They're gonna get their money out of this, which is cool. But the thing that kind of boggled my mind, and maybe I'm wrong, but somewhere in my drunken stupor, I remember this being a 12-hole match. Is that true?
I haven't looked into the details of the match. I Googled it, beforehand to kind of figure out what the hell the format was or who these guys were actually playing with, because the match tends to have, some dinglings that
Only
show up
Phil
and
and
join 'em.
Tiger can go 1-on-1.
Well, I mean,
that's my thought.
right? I mean, because the rivalry's not that strong. I mean, Brooks Koepka, Bryce. I mean, they've never been paired together. You know, they've never really like battled in an actual golf tournament before. I don't know if it's a 12-hole thing. That'd probably be better for television because it's going to be the 6-hour run of golf, which is just going to be 2 hours of pre-coverage and 6 hours of just nonsense. I haven't heard anything about that, but it would not surprise me that TNT might pull something. I know it's in Vegas. That's all I know.
Hey, here's the thing. It's Thanksgiving Day, right?
No, Black Friday, the day after.
Oh, it's Black Friday. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll watch football on Thursday. I'll watch golf on Friday. I'll tune in. I mean, as long as it's not a pay-per-view event. If they make me pay for it, I won't watch it.
Right. I mean, the only guys in my world that constitute a pay-per-view, which they tried, which then they gave away, which is Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods. Anyone else, I'm not paying $39.99 to watch the two hefties go out there and battle, or Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. A few of those were pretty awful, but I don't know. It's something. Yeah, we'll tune in. It's something. What else am I going to be doing on that Friday? So, I guess it's a good filler. I mean, as I look forward to the rest of the PGA Tour schedule until January 1st, it does not look real sharp.
Well, hey, it gives us something to bet on. You know, it gives the people something to bet on. I'm sure there's a lot of prop bets on that. You know, so. I'll take take the money I won on the Oregon Ducks against the Bruins and throw it on that.
Oh, the Bruins! A hell of a game. Hell of a game for the Ducks.
How about those Duckies hanging on? God damn.
I guess this is the part of the show where Jeff and we've ran out of things when it comes to the national news when it comes to the golf. If you guys were expecting some complete breakdown of the Zozo Championship. You swung and missed. You need to tune into the Golf Channel and watch, Brandel Chambly and his goofball partner. Jeff, you want to get into the recap of the Aloha Press Classic? I mean, we're still alive, which is key. We made it. We survived. Do you want to give the listeners a little taste of what we had up in beautiful Tahoe?
I think if any of the listeners are people that attended, that's the only reason they're still listening right now is to get to this, because it was, and I'm not joking when I say this. I mean, we had probably, we had 38, 39 golfers. We were one short of last year's total, but half of them were new, and I think for some reason we had twice as much fun in every aspect of it, from Friday night's cocktail party up in the suite to golf, to Saturday night's hosted bar by my cousin Mikey out there with $1,000 open bar, which turned into probably a $2,000 open bar because you tipped the bartender well up front, and Bo Gilman took care of a little bit at the end. And then Sunday's golf and getting to take over the bar Sunday night at Edgewood. I mean, all of it was above and beyond. And then you throw a fucking blizzard in on Monday and everybody gets stuck. It was great.
It was absolutely amazing. I mean, from the start to the finish. I mean, Jeff and I, we tend not to look at the weather. It seems like the most popular thing people like to send us right before you host a tournament at 6,000 elevation in what we consider the fall. We're getting blown up with rain reports. We had ice delays, but Jeff, by far, this is probably, in my opinion, the best classic that we put on. Probably the best tournament we put on. Just by the sheer fun factor. Like, yeah, we did have a whole new, half of the group that was new to the experience. They partaked well, and we had a lot of participants. The Friday night, though, I'm not gonna lie, Jeff, I'm pretty sure I smoked 3 cigars, and it absolutely, I think I wasn't able to talk for 2 days. It was a bit rough. Jeff, what was your favorite part of the actual festivities? Not necessarily the golf, but actual festivities when it came to the classic this couple weeks ago.
Well, for me, this year was Friday night. I felt like all the work was done. We were able to just relax a little bit. Guys got there. We didn't, and usually I'm a guy that cares a lot, even though that hotel room wasn't under my name. I usually care a lot about keeping it, clean, undamaged, right? Closed up and somebody out of it on time. I didn't give two shits this year. I mean, we used that fucking carpet as an ashtray. We legitimately did. We had windows open. We destroyed that place. But you know what? That's a product of what they gave us. You're going to give me a fucking 1980s suite that still has jizz on the sheets and the fucking and the goddamn comforter. Yeah, you're going to get that type of fucking service from us. You really are. I mean, the goddamn fridge they had a wrinkled up, what was it? Like a Corona fucking box underneath it to try to keep it level. Come on.
The room, as Jeff's favorite night was Friday night. I was shocked on the level of care. Hard Rock has spent all their money on their casino and none of it in their hotel room because, good God, it looked like it hadn't been cleaned in a few weeks, which was just shocking to me. Friday night was a blast, but I will say Saturday night was pretty amazing just because I've never handed a bartender $200 before and said, this is yours to keep, and they lose their fucking mind. I've never seen someone happy in my life. This guy, it looked like he was a kid at Christmas. Like Santa just showed up and just dropped off like, the Huffy, that he always wanted. It just cracked me up. But my favorite part, honestly, was Saturday morning. Saturday morning was probably one of the funnest things. Not necessarily the golf. I'm saying like on the driving range, like guys are just like pumped up. They're nervous. They're just like a hair hung over. The beaver was good to them. The boys at Ramco took care of dinner and drinks that night. It absolutely just showed you like the competitiveness and also just the fire that people had. People were losing their mind in the range. Like I saw a guy strip off his clothes throwing 4 irons like halfway down the fucking range. It was just absolutely amazing. Jeff, there was a couple quotes that we heard that particular weekend. I don't know if we should share some of those quotes, but was there anything that you heard that you were like, okay, that's a t-shirt for next year?
There was one that sticks out in my mind. I mean, I know we heard a lot of things. We saw a lot of things. There's one, I can't say it. We put it on a shirt. It'll probably sell. It'll probably offend a lot of people. I can thank Johnny Cruz for that one. But it was a great time. And to speak about the driving range Saturday, because you talk about one of our guys, one of our loyal listeners, one of our biggest fans, one of our best buddies, fucking legitimately stripping clothes off because that's what was causing them to hit the shanks, and then throwing golf clubs. And then you, on the other end of the spectrum, you've got a guy that doesn't play a lot of golf that shows up in unbelievable shape and hits enough golf balls that he played 4 rounds of golf before he even fucking teed off, broke 1 club on the goddamn range, and has the lead after day 1. But little did he know, no matter how much CrossFit you do, hitting that many golf balls is going to take his fucking toll on Sunday.
It was, because the dude he showed up to the golf range at 10 o'clock. His tee time wasn't until like 1:30, and he's like, "How many range balls can I hit?" I go, "Dude, as many as you want." He's like, "Done." And I swear, I've never seen someone like just cold, just drop kicking every shot. I mean, the range is just rock hard because we had a little ice delay in the morning, and he thinks he's just hitting it pure. And thank God. I mean, again, he was leading after day 1, which was pretty remarkable, pretty incredible. When we get to the golf course, Jeff, because we changed it up this year a little bit. I mean, last year we took into consideration just the sheer distance. This year was, I want to say we had a little bit more experience with the actual design of the golf course. Day 1, day 2, what was your favorite setup at Edgewood?
So first off, I think it was super fair. I think we set it up as fair as it could be. The par 3s didn't play too tough. The par 5s played tough and then played easy. And sometimes the shorter holes were the tougher holes. They really were.
Yes.
I really liked day 2 setup. I think it called for low scores. I think it gave everybody a chance. Not to say everybody fucking did it. There's a lot that factors in with multiple nights of drinking, no sleep, not eating dinner, which we learned. I preached about eating and this and that, and then I'm the worst guy. I didn't eat dinner 2 nights in a row and wonder why I wake up feeling like absolute death. But I think day 2 was the better scoring day for us. Plus we had no wind. We had beautiful weather. We had beautiful weather the entire time we were up there until Monday hit, which it was beautiful for a lot of people too, because they got to see the snow for the first time.
It absolutely. For me, like the golf course setup this year was I don't want to say it was different, but it was just it felt like we had another rep on our belt with last year's classic, and being able to set up the golf course and being able to set it up in a way where, like, fuck, at one point in time I topped one into a pond and it fucking skipped off the fucking water, and it was fair. Like, I mean, I had 200 yards in, but it's just the way it goes. But there were some holes where it was like we tried to put guys in positions where if they were long off the tee, it didn't make sense to hit driver. But at times they kind of pushed their limits and they got themselves in trouble. I really enjoyed day 2, not because of the less wind, but just for the sheer fact that it was a lot longer yardage. It was like 250 yards longer than day 1, but it felt like it played a lot fairer, and it felt like, for whatever reason, some of the par 4s that we stretched out weren't as bad as we thought that they were going to be. I mean, we had a couple 487-yard par 4s mixed in there that people were shitting their pants. I felt like the golf course just, you just played with it. You just had a longer shot.
Well, and that's golf. I mean, we played with the winner. We got to see some really good golf played. We had our moments as well, but to put it in perspective, one of those 480-yard par 4s that we're talking about, number 8, we fucking talked about it. We took pictures of it, videos of it, right? I hit the best drive of my fucking life there, right? I didn't even believe where my ball ended up. When I'm looking at it, and I think I had 85, 90 yards in. You know what I made on that hole? A bogey. Right? Catch my 60-degree wedge a little thin, 3-putt. Next thing you know, thank you very much for your bogey after you just hit one about 400 fucking yards. That's golf, dude. That it is what it is, and that can wear on you the rest of the round.
It was one of those golf courses that it just does. I was shocked at the conditioning, and I know there was a couple weeks where they didn't have a lot of play, and it made the golf course just absolutely mature, and they look like, I mean, at points in time, like the golf course, for me at least, it looked like Spyglass. Spyglass is the nicest golf course I've ever played on. It was the most perfect golf course, perfect tee boxes, fairways, everything. It felt like you were hitting off like carpet. And the thing that shocked me the most was, even though we'd played those green speeds as they were, you can't practice putting on fucking concrete. Like, I tried to go to my living room. I tried to go to my hardwood floor, my kitchen. It just always shocks me on how fast those greens are. Like you said, you have an 85-yard shot and you end up 3-putting, from 18 feet. It just absolutely drove me crazy.
It does, dude. And I've played twice since we came back from Edgewood, and I've played here at home at Castle Oaks and once in Bakersfield on courses that are very similar. You don't ever worry about 3-putting from 20, 30, 40 feet. Like, it's an easy 2-putt. You make some of them. There, it's like almost, I don't know, 7 out of 10 you're going to 3-putt. It's just a different game of golf. And when you're not used to it, it's fucking very tough. It's
just a challenging golf course. It was one of those things that got brought up because, again, we had some great scores, and we had some really good play from some guys who stepped up, who definitely didn't play well in the years before. I looked at it and I thought, showing up Sunday and what had gone on the night before, okay, with your cousin, donating, a large donation to the bar and really amplifying. I mean, Jeff, to be quite honest with you, everyone was shocked on how chipper I was the next morning because I was still drunk for some reason. About 9:30 hit, I'm sitting there with Jeff, and he's like, "Dude, are you all right?" I'm like, "Dude, I am hungover now. Like, this is not good. I had the shakes. Like, I went to the chipping green and I shanked about 800 shots. It was not good. It was cool to see, like, the guys who took it incredibly serious and the guys who took the drinking incredibly serious, but also played remarkably well on Sunday. Do you want to get into the winners? Do you want to get into the net and gross?
Absolutely. I do want to say one thing though, and I appreciate this, and I appreciate this about you because, we've had our ups and downs where there's drunk JC and then there's sober JC and then there's back to drunk JC, and I love all of it. Either way, I deal with it. But to see, you wondered why you felt so good come Sunday morning. It's because me and you had a wrestling match to get you to the elevator to get you back to your room.
It was, yeah, I was sore. I was sore in spots where golfers aren't sore. It was, I feel like I had the Jeff Lottie knee in my back, and my right arm was, in a position that, motivated me into the elevator, which was impressive. I learned a valuable lesson about putting on golf tournaments. You got to eat a little bit, because good God, it was to a point Saturday night, we were just having a great time. We're smoking cigars, having a few cocktails. We're chewing on the garnish that, came inside your drink that you got for free, which was amazing. Does not fill you up properly to prepare you for, a Three Wise Men that someone had tried to poison me with. It was at one point in time, one guy looked at me and go, on Sunday morning, he goes, I thought you got poisoned. I thought you got roofied. Like 30 minutes before, you were completely fine. 30 minutes after, you were like a complete different person. Like someone had, given you a few items, maybe that dissolved in your drinks, which I mean, I don't know. Maybe. It was a good time. I was utterly, yeah, go ahead.
No, we did what we said we were going to do this year compared to last year. And that was, we were going to have fun when we were golfing. Last year, we worried too much about everything that was going on, the A to Z details, making sure everybody else was having fun, worrying about, answering everybody's phone calls and texts. And this year we just said, fuck it. And we had fun. We drank on the golf course. We smoked on the golf course. We did what we had to do. And then we continued it throughout the night. So it was to be expected. Next year, let's just eat dinner. Hashtag eat dinner because that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that might end up on a t-shirt. It was absolutely, that was one of my big lessons. Right. This particular golf tournament is pretty unique, and it was something where, Edgewood Tahoe was not particularly excited about some of the slow play that we had. I was not too excited about their green speed. So if I had to make any suggestions, maybe grow the grass a little longer, help some of these guys out. But some remarkable play. This year was pretty unique. Even though we had less golfers this year, we were able to put more capital to essentially the players and their gifts, and also what they would actually win. We were able to pay out 6 spots. We paid out 2 first places, 2 seconds, and 2 thirds. Let's start with the gross, okay? Because I'd never seen this before in my life. I mean, as we're sitting there in beautiful Edgewood Tahoe on a Sunday, the sun's going down. I mean, we just capitalized on a great event. I took home the bomb trophy. Jeff was, he played really good golf. I just played a hair better. He and I won a bet over E3, I don't know how drunk he was on Friday night when he made that bet, but we had a Jeremy Edwards Sean Bellotti go out and shoot a gross, or a net 47s. And instead of going to the golf course and doing what they're supposed to be doing, doing a little playoff, they decided to have a drink off, which I'd never seen that before. Jeff, I was shocked on their play. I've seen both of them play a lot of golf. Their drinking was probably more impressive than their actual golf game.
Well, it's not very often that you give them an option, right? We're going to go have a one-hole playoff, a chip off, a putt off, and they're like, fuck you, we want to have a drink off. And it's not just, one drink. It's we want to have a shot of tequila and chug a beer in front of the bar, which it's cool. Edgewood let us take over the bar this year. No masks, no protocols, none of that shit. And they did it, and we called it a tie. I think they slammed their glasses at the same time. One person finished more of the beer than the other, but it was it was an unbelievable scene, right? To see that. And then you throw in the guy that won the net. I mean, he came out of nowhere on Sunday, all the way from Bakersfield. I mean,
the guy rolls up, just a silent killer, okay, on Saturday. Doesn't put himself in, into the final group or anything, but comes out from like the middle of the pack and goes out and shoots, a 142 net and absolutely kicks the shit out of everyone. I mean, he beat the closest guys by 5 shots. I mean, he beat your brother by 6 shots. He beat, Sean and Jeremy. He beat me by fucking like 8 shots, 10 shots, something crazy. Nick Martinez goes out and wins the the net championship. The Devil Duck or whatever we called it. I can't remember what we nicknamed the trophy, but he was crowned the champion, for the very first time, which was impressive.
Hey, and he wore that duck Necklace with Pride. I caught him out fucking Sunday night. They stayed Sunday, which is
Yeah.
good for the Bakersfield boys to stay in town. He was out on the town running around the strip with that chain on all night. I went back to Bakersfield last weekend for a little get together birthday party for my wife's brother, and I fully expected him to show up wearing it. Right? He didn't, because he didn't want to overshadow anybody as the champ, but he refers to himself as a champ. I'm gonna have to call him the champ until he's not anymore. Which, fuck, you go out and shoot in the 80s, as a net golfer out there at Edgewood on Sunday. That's fucking impressive. But there's a difference. Last year he had his buddy Sammy there with him, and they got fucking annihilated and drank a lot. This year he didn't have Sammy there, and he went to bed at a proper time and came out refreshed on Sunday. So we bring Sammy back next year. We'll see what happens.
It's the mix of, because I remember last year he was annihilated on Saturday night. I'm pretty sure he and I almost fell into the fire pit, okay, smoking cigars. So I look forward to him defending his championship next year at the Aloha Press Classic and bringing along his buddy. It was cool to see him bring up some new guests, some of his family members. I enjoyed some of the pictures that they took driving home in the snow. I saw that they took the safe road, decided to chain up all 4 tires on the, I'm guessing, 4-wheel drive SUV with snow tires. I'm not sure how you want to blow $400, but apparently they wanted to do it in chains, which is maybe that's next year's fucking tournament trophy. I don't know, but congratulations to Nick Martinez, Sean Bellotti, and Jeremy Edwards, and Brian Blood. I will give him, he went out there and shot 148, which is impressive. But let's get to the real division. Okay, this was a big argument last year. This is one of those things that we had to change and really motivate us to give out 2 first places, because we capped last year's net guys at 16 handicap, and it really limited some of those guys, some of those higher handicappers, to get into the mix. But this year, it seemed like there was only one champion, and it started on the back 9 on day 1. But let's start with third place. Jeff Bellotti gets it done at 157, followed up with second place Ben Smithers. Played incredible golf, 81-71, I believe, on day 2. Goes out and shoots a 153, and then you got Ryan Thornberry going out there first gross at a 142. I'm pretty sure he might have won. He might have won the gross and the net if we were allowed to crown 2 guys with the same trophy. So, Jeff, I like this addition to the tournament this year. I liked having an actual winner who goes out there, 0 handicaps, and just plays great golf.
I love it, and he did play good golf, and he didn't start off well. We played with him, so we got to see him, in action, and he had a rough front 9 on day 1. He really did. Just wasn't feeling it. And then all of a sudden something clicked and he turned it on. And yeah, you go, I think you said 41-31, to shoot even par on day 1. He comes out and shoots a couple under on day 2. Anytime you're shooting under par at Edgewood, especially in those conditions with, the drinking that goes on and the partying that goes on and the smoking that goes on. That's very impressive. Definitely earned it. He's got the chain. Hopefully he wears it with pride, to maybe some other events or other golf things. I'm going to say the round of the tournament, though, it's got to go to my boy Ben Smithers. For Ben Smithers to come out and shoot 71 on day 2, back up. I lost my feed there. Back up an 81 with a 71. That's quite impressive. And we know he didn't take off that night. He didn't fucking go to bed early. He was drinking. So that's very impressive. And cheers to Ben Smithers on that one.
It was, day 1 didn't look good for him. And look, again, another guy who was way back in the pack, did not look like he was going to make a charge, and he sure did. He goes out, shoots 71 on a golf course that was, it played 6,600 yards. The guy, pretty sure he made eagle on 18. Really, really cool. Really cool to see him get second place. But Ryan Thornberry, good God. He beat everyone by 11 shots. Then Ben Smith was 11 shots worse than this guy. It's just pretty fucking crazy. And I'll give it to these 2 guys. Ryan Thornberry, web.com guy, Ben Smithers, Hooters tour guy. And these guys are professional golfers at one point in time in their life. Jeff, I'm not gonna lie, I was not shocked with your third place finish. you didn't play your best golf in the world. I've seen you play a lot better golf, but third place is still pretty substantial.
Hey, I hit it well. I just for some reason it's weird. Most guys, their favorite course in the world is the course they play the best at, right? You always pick that course that you play your fucking best at. For me, it's the exact opposite. Edgewood's my favorite course in the world, but for some reason, I don't play well there. I can go anywhere else, shoot under par, and play well, but I can't play well at Edgewood. But I still love it. I mean, it is the Pebble Beach of the mountains. It's my favorite course. I'll continue to go back as long as we host this tournament, and as long as I'm alive, I'm going to go out and play it. I fucking love it. But here's the other thing about our tournament that we haven't talked about yet is all the other money we gave away in the skins, the closest to the pins, the long drive, all these other things, and our sponsors, because a lot of our sponsors didn't get to be there. Whether it was Denisa with Davenport Properties, Wade's Farm, Colton Merriman with his training, Motivate. Who else did we have? Steve Simmons giving away the Giants signed baseball. All these things, and the cash. Wes Windley, he was there. To see it. But those people made. When I say it was twice as good this year, it was probably because of what those people gave to us. And my cousin Mikey, donating for the Saturday night cocktail party. I mean, we just had a blast. We really did. And we were able to give away a lot of money and a lot of skins and a lot of prizes. It was unbelievable.
It was one of those things as a business decision, as a businessman. It was the dumbest thing that we could have done, but it was the best thing for the tournament. I mean, I think we gave away almost $7,000, which is for 38 guys at Edgewood Tahoe. I mean, it is pretty impressive. And again, yeah, our Aloha Press Classic partners, I mean, Spring Valley Excavation, Amador County Deputy Sheriff Canine Fund, BBMP Wealth Management Insurance Services, Denisa Duke, yeah, with Keller Williams, Wes Windley. I mean, the long drive contest, we'll get to that here in a second. Motivate, Merriman Sports Training, Matika Vukovic, and then, Wade's Farm, Cardinelli Investments, and then also my one of my favorite new sponsors that we had was Bilatti's Bourbon Bar, Bilatti's Bull Shark Bourbon Bar in Amador City, which we're I feel like they're going to be a sponsor here in the show in the near future.
Hey, stay tuned on that one because that one's coming out here shortly. And then, Ramco, your local laundry service here in Amador County, Calvert County. Get ready because I think they're going to be a big part of next year as well. I mean, he was there playing this year. I'm pretty sure he's going to be a big sponsor next year. He brought Troy Gassaway along, principal over at Argonaut. They had a blast. They had me taking fucking lemon drops. I don't even drink that stuff, and we were doing it Saturday night. So thank you, Mikey.
It was absolutely pretty incredible, and just the atmosphere and the amount of, and again, it's not a lot of guys that were up there, but it was a cool group to have up there. The thing that we added this year was the long drive contest. We didn't really know how that was going to play out. We had a TrackMan that the spin rate was pretty fucking horrible. That thing got promptly returned. And then Amazon literally looked at me and goes, "We don't want it back. So we don't have a free TrackMan," which might come out at one of our next tournaments. But yeah, Wes Windley put it on. He said, "Hey, I want to support you guys in some way. I want to give out some cash." We did the long drive contest. We didn't really know how to play it out, but in my eyes, Jeff, that was probably one of the funner things that we did. It got to really show probably some of the better ball strikers out there and some of those high handicappers. Good God, we suck at hitting that long ball.
Well, the best part was, we got to do it on number one. We had talked about doing it on the driving range, but we got to do it on the first hole. So we got there. We tell everybody, mark your own ball, right? Take your own golf ball, your best ball, your longest ball you got in your bag, mark it and hit. And everybody did it. We all hit. Some people stayed out of it because they didn't want any part of it because they knew they weren't going to win. But the best part about the long drive is, there were some bombs out there. My brother, Ben, guys hit some good balls. And then the last guy to walk up doesn't even bring his own golf ball. He grabs a fucking range ball out of the bucket, tees it up, and bangs one over the fucking bunker right there on number one and out drives them all by 15 yards. And that's Matt Floyd. Matt Floyd wins the long drive. I think he won 3 skins on Sunday. I mean, that's the thing. You might not win the tournament, but you're going to make some money.
Oh, there was guys that walked away and they made money this weekend. I mean, I don't know how much they lost at the tables, but they definitely walked away with some cash, which was cool. It's one of my favorite part about this tournament is it's such a people, at times complain, oh, it's super expensive, but God, if you go out there and put together a hole, I mean, you can go out there and win some money. And I think, both days, I think both skins, each days we were giving out $80 skins. So, and there was, again, I think it was $3,000 that we paid out in skins, which was pretty cool. Jeff, wrapping up the Aloha Press Classic, I need one negative and I need one overwhelmingly positive takeaway from Edgewood Tahoe from this year's Classic.
Well, the only negative that I can take away from this is the staff at Edgewood. That's it. Don't come at us talking crap. Don't come at us about our slow play. Don't come at us about, the way our guys are acting. We're out there having fun. We're out there bringing you money. We're bringing the county of El Dorado, the county of Douglas money. We're bringing everybody a good time. The overwhelming positive, the weather. How can you beat it? Like you said, we ignore it, right? We don't look at it. Every time somebody said something to me, it's going to be sunny and 70, sunny and 60. Don't you worry about it. And we got it. We got the best weather ever. When I woke up hungover on Monday morning, thank God we weren't golfing that day. 6 inches of snow in the bed of my truck, and I'm going out to get flags and tee markers that are still on the goddamn course because for some reason the fucking maintenance crew didn't want to grab them that night. So that, but it is what it is. Hey, the weather was a positive. The crew was a negative. If they'll let us back, we'll come back again.
My negative is as simple as this. It's on the West Coast. You guys complain about fucking everything. There's $5.50 in gas. Good guy, I spent more in gas getting up there than I did any. Like it costs more money to drive from Sacramento to fucking South Lake Tahoe than it did to fly there. I didn't know jet fuel was cheaper than California fucking fuel prices. Just cracked me. I go, who raised the goddamn gas prices? So that's my one negative. One positive that I really took away. Not just the weather, not just the actual, the golf course, the setup, but it was how everyone acted this year. Good and bad. It was overwhelmingly everyone just absolutely got up there and enjoyed themselves. And I felt like I had a great time. I had a great time. It was way less stressful. There were things that were falling apart. Most people don't realize, like, there were things that just didn't happen. And it was just shit that we couldn't control. I mean, the fucking hat colors were wrong. Fucking some of the gear were just iffy. It was a lot of, it was a hair shaky about 8 hours before we drove up there. But my overall positive thing was just the pure group that we had this year. I hate to say it was better than last year. We kicked ass this year.
100%. And I've told everybody this. I've said it before. Twice as fun in every aspect of it, and I see it being 3 times as fun next year because we've learned from our mistakes. We're not going to bring a sound system and think we're going to have a DJ on the first tee. It's just not going to happen, right? Edgewood says yes to get our money, and then they say no once you show up. So I mean, hey, it is what it is. But there's a little reason I'm wearing this, just to let you know before I sign off here.
Yeah.
We made a bet Friday night, probably the easiest bet I've ever made in my life. I wish I would have made it for more. Big Ed, E3, thank you very much. $100 you paid to JC, $50 to me, and there was so much confidence in your game that your wife bet against you and put $50 on JC. And I appreciate that Venmo very much. I'm wearing the sweatshirt from your wife. Thank you. Appreciate it. That was my favorite bet. By far, it was the funnest thing in the world because I knew I won before the tournament even started. Because he lost clothing. He's talking to everyone. It's like I don't know how to hit my 4-iron. And I think Jeremy Edwards said it the best. He goes, "Who the fucking hit a 4-iron? Good guy. That's why we carry hybrids and 5-woods. What are you doing?" It just absolutely cracked me up. I appreciate the $100. It bought a very nice bottle of wine in Hawaii. I will say, I thought so. After the tournament, my wife and I were blessed enough to go to Hawaii, and I was wearing all our Aloha Press gear. There was only one person that asked us about our gear. It looked like we were the biggest tools. Like we flew over there and bought all this shit we were wearing. Like everyone's like, "Why are you wearing your souvenirs?" I'm like, "No, this is our brand. This is what we do." It cracked me up. Like we are nowhere near ever going to host a tournament there because they're not going to take it serious. It's just we absolutely ripped off that beautiful state, which I thought was funny. So I appreciate anyone that's still listening. Really appreciate everyone that's tuned in, liked, subscribed. And giving us that thumbs up or
or shared our podcast and also our tournament. Next year, I don't know about you, Jeff, but I can't imagine us having more than 40 players. Like, I feel like we need to cap it. And if the guys who came last year, guess what? You're gonna get your first ticket before anyone else come next year's Aloha Press Classic.
So I would agree, right? We wanted to up it a little bit this year. We wanted to go to 60. Little did we know we weren't going to have to just deal with COVID. We're going to have to deal with wildfires, broken backs. So, I mean, we had a lot of things going against us yet again. We did what we had to do. But 40 is a great number. It really is. It's enough to where everybody can be personal with everybody. Everybody can socialize. You're not missing out on anything. You're not missing anybody. So I love it. I think 40 is the number. And I think, hey, you know what? Reach out to the guys that came last year. If we don't fill it up, open it up. But I mean, you saw 20 new guys this year, right? I mean, that's huge. That's 20 guys that didn't show up this year that were there the first year. I don't know what happened there, whether it was hunting season or vacations, but I think we keep it at 40. I really do.
I agree with you. And I think the guys who played in the first year and missed out this year, especially when they're going to be on the sideline next year, it's going to be absolutely hilarious. I mean, come on, like, can't you have one at Mace Meadows, please? Like, please, come on. Like, it ain't going to happen, boys. So, Jeff, with that being said, let's wrap this damn thing up. We'll talk to you next week. We got our bottle bet. I'm excited about whoever the hell I picked. Danny Willett's going to take over Matthew Fitzpatrick. We'll be wrapping all that Bermuda championship up if we watch any of it. Go Braves. And as always, hit bombs, attack pins. We'll see you next week, buddy.
Cheers, brother.
Wearing all black.
Aloha. Here with JC and Jeff.
Ain't no time for school today.
Hitting bombs.
Hey, watch this punch cut knobway. Replace your marshals with cart girls. They're better looking. They're serving drinks.
Got to hit bombs off the tee.
Phil talking about a guy taking a shit in the cut.
Mahalo.
That's what we did fireside with Phil.
Fire at the stick.
Hit bomb and attack the pin.